Hey everybody, we've got a 1v1 battle on Grassy Flats, kind of the standard thing. And I'm playing as France. And lately I'm really trying to work on sort of redefining my game and sort of changing how I approach playing the game. And so I'm kind of starting back at the beginning, and I'm using France a lot. I think France gives you a lot of flexibility, and they have the best units in the game, so they give you a little forgiveness too. You can screw up every now and then and play with them is kind of what I'm thinking. For this particular game, I made a sort of strategic decision that I needed a ton of quality because I predicted that I'd probably get outplayed a little bit, and I needed that little extra edge. So I brought a ton of elites, is what I brought. Lately, what I'm trying to do with France is just three lights. I chose chefs here this time instead of volts. I'm not really sure which is better. Maybe someone can give me the arguments pro and con either direction. On my left side, I have the guard seaman unit and two young guard right there. And then on my right side, I have three old guard. So 6 line units are my main line, and behind them I have 3 units of Polish. I have, I believe, 3 lancers is what I've got, and that's what I'm trying to bring. I really would have liked to have another lancer unit, but I didn't. Right when the game spawns, I issued a weird order, trying a new hotkey setup. My opponent for this game is a guy named Joslin. Joslin is a member, I think he's actually the sort of administrator of the BsA clan, and he's also in Huntsman. Really neat guy if you ever get a chance to play with him. And he's also one of the better Napoleon players on the planet. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what he puts together and how he does it. He's bringing Ottomans in. When we were chatting, he said he was going to try something new, and what I think he's doing that's interesting is he's got these lights out in front, but there's no line infantry behind them. He has 2 mounted, what do you call these? The mounted rifles behind them, but they're not directly supported by line infantry. He's using these mounted in a pseudo that role. I think this is a really interesting, regardless of whatever else he's doing, this is a really interesting tactic to use. He's kind of counting on superior micro, I think, to get these guys out of trouble, and these cav give him some interesting flexibility because these cav will protect these guys in case they get hit by cav, and it also gives him long-term flexibility. Once the cav threat is gone, these guys can just hold a section of his line, and he can release these cav to be more aggressive. I think it's a really interesting tactic. On his it's his right, my left. I'm going to call it the left. There are 3 line infantry, and there are 2 bazookas behind them. He's also got, I think he's got his general in a line infantry unit that he's holding in reserve there. So he doesn't have the actual general bodyguard unit. And then there's some lancers. And then on his right side, he's pretty much duplicated the same thing. He's got 4 line, another unit of lancers, and there's a shooter. So there you go. The only melee, I guess the only interesting thing I'd say is the only melee he's using are these bazookas, which are the lowest quality unit. He has put chevrons on them. But interesting decision. I'm a little curious why I just wouldn't use the Summit Janissaries. I'm sure he has a good... excuse me, got a little chill there. I'm sure he has a good reason. As the battle gets going, what do I do? I don't really remember. This happened a couple days ago. It looks like I'm trying to swing out to maybe get a little envelopment on the right side. And he's going to win this lights battle, is kind of the initial problem I have. So I'm going to have to find a way to engage with his 5 units of lights that he has there. And you can see I'm a little weak on the left. His line is going to be able to out-extend me. So there's a danger here that he's going to be able to wrap around now. I am moving this line infantry unit over here. Actually, I'm moving 2 of them, these 2, to take positions on the left side of my line. The reason I'm doing that is I don't want him to outflank me. And we're marching up, and I think I take shots with my chasseur and then retreat real quick. I take the first shot and then kite back. I'm a little nervous. And I'm moving my other reserve. I'm moving it here. So I immediately put my reserves to lengthen my line. I maybe should have started that. I get shots against his guys that are deploying. I'm going to pause the battle. We're right about now. The reason I want to pause the battle is that this is where I lose. I lose the battle right here. The last couple days, in my little soul searching to try to figure out how to get better at the game, I've watched a ton of my own replays where I lose a lot. And one common denominator, one common theme that happens when I lose is I'm really bad, or what I need to get better at is letting my opponent get in position before me. Do you see how these 3 line units are coming in to form a line and an axis right here that'll have a flanking ability? Now, I'm doing the right thing. I'm moving these 2 line units that'll re-give me the advantage if these guys can't get there. The problem is that my opponent got there first. And that's it. I mean, my opponent gets there first. If I was there first, then I would probably have a really good chance to win this battle. But irregardless of the other things, I find a couple other ways to lose this battle later. But this moment right here is really important. What I should have done is recognize that he was going to get there first and then reoriented my lines to meet that correctly. Like I should have pulled these 2 units back here, let my additional reinforcement show up here, and then I could eventually push him back, but I don't do that. Watch what happens here. See this line unit that's coming in to reinforce? He is going to get in position and get shots. Here they go. I'm doing the right thing. I'm pulling my lights back, but look at that. Those guys show up. Boom. Shots of my lights. Those aren't terribly effective, but look at this. I mean, this is just going to wreck me. And I get here, and I think I was looking at the other side of the map, and I realize I'm in trouble, and I don't really have any solution. So, I mean, this unit's dead, pretty much. So all I do is I think I just send them into melee real quick. Yep. There's no point in doing anything else. I lose the battle there. I think I also emergency charge Cav in. This is bad because I'm going to run into the backs of my own guys. I was not thinking this through. I should have charged the Cav unit here. I think I just kind of forgot about the idea that I would be charging my own people. And I think I'm, trying to get my lights. I mean, I guess I do get them to form square there, but, I mean, that's it. You're going to watch this happen. He still routes my Polish thanks to my own Lancer charge, and my Lancer's going to go afterwards. The reserve tactics he's using are really good. This reserve liner for unit is going to be able to get good shots supporting. And that is the start of the collapse of me on the left. And it was that moment. It was him getting position before me. Over on the right side, things start to go downhill with this Cav charge that I don't see. And he gets a great charge right into this young guard. He's going to continue the charge into this old guard. I had sent my own Lancers in. He countercharges. Probably irrelevant. What happens all across the line at this point is Joslin starts doing, he's winning the lights fight. I really didn't do anything. I should have rushed these units up. I guess I did, kind of. I've got old guard shooting there, but two things should have occurred. A, I should have moved my guard units up more aggressively to engage his lights. I didn't do that. And then he just starts to completely own me with Cav charge. It's like I forgot the form square button even existed. Meat shields or melee troops go in here, which provide cover. He's got me 2v1. And at this point, what looked like a fairly reasonable or a pseudo-winnable battle for me just goes downhill in about 3 minutes, 2 minutes, something like that. I mean, his Cav just completely destroys me. I have nothing productive to say about it. And the battle is lost. You can see this is the same Cav unit. Oh no, sorry, it isn't. That was his. So I took care of the first Cav, but it doesn't matter. I mean, he's gonna shoot me real good over here, and the battle's over. This Cav unit is breaking into my center and just destroys me. Remember those two Cav units he had supporting his lights? Well, they did their thing. They charged straight down the middle, and I think at this point my whole army pretty much routs. Let's kick it fast forward. There's Cav still going. I think my general is back there. Yeah, he goes after my general. Anyway, that was my game against Joslin. The big lesson for me there was that, who gets into position first, or an actually useful position, is going to win. And then also my micro was just super bad protecting against Cav, or handling his Cav charges. He just pretty much charged me at will. And he, not only that, you notice a lot of times you sort of wind up trading Cav, like you trade a Lancer for the line unit that they're attacking. What he was able to pull off, man, another great charge, is he didn't do that. He wasn't trading Cav for infantry. He was trading one cav for like 2 infantry, or his use of cavalry was quite good, and he was able to leverage that into more advantage than you normally see through that use. So maybe that's the secret of success right there. But anyway, I want to say great game to Joslin and showing me some tricks. And I didn't do too bad for myself on the whole kills losses thing, but this battle was pretty decisive. So thanks for watching, and check us out at twreplays.com.